think there's, when it first came out in February, the first team meeting that we did, I said, you know, look, as agents, everybody in this room, your job over the next 6 months is to get this app on as many phones as you can.
So let me just ask you this question. It is the same app that was before if you had the app installed on your phone, or do I need to reinstall a different app? It just was updated.
Yeah, it updated.
Okay.
The platform, have you opened it recently?
Just now.
Let me know what you think. So you do have to create a new login. Don't try to sign in. Don't use your old credentials.
Okay.
Go ahead and just create a new login. Use the email address that is attached to command, and it'll sync.
Okay.
And then when you go into on the bottom right corner, I think it'll say settings. You can go into, it says you. When you click on the bottom right corner, it says you. Make sure that you are your agent. So assign your app to yourself. And then when you share it.
Which I think can take a while because I'm still not showing up.
It took, I think, 24 hours for me.
Yeah. So I'm not there yet. I just double checked and I'm still not there. So it might take some time to switching over.
If it's not up tomorrow, let me know. Me and Andrew will have a look at it and get on it.
Okay. And that's who I need to schedule a tech class with is Andrew.
I definitely would. So he does 4 tech classes, and he goes, like, the first one is a really broad overview, like a 30,000 foot view of command. And then the second, third, and fourth one, he starts to go deeper into specific aspects of command. And then if you need any other, you know, specific assistance, let me know. Being probably a little too blunt, I shit talked command for probably the first 6 to 7 months it was out. I was not a proponent of it. It was janky. It didn't work. It was very buggy. And then around August, when they announced that that we were leaving Dotloop because of, you know, it's now owned by Zillow Group, I made the decision to start playing around with command and moving stuff over for me and my team. And the more I played with it, the more I bought in. The more I started to realize, you know what, from a cost standpoint alone, economic.
Powerful.
Yeah, and then they continued to add to it. And then with the paid campaigns that we're going to talk about here in just a second, it changed everything. So when I got into the industry, I was 25. I didn't walk in to, you know, a grandfather database. I didn't have any friends or family in the industry. It was very much just me, kind of had to forge my own way, and I had to figure out how to get in front of as many people as possible in a very short amount of time. And social media allowed me to do that. With 5 minutes and a couple clicks of a button, I could get in front of a couple thousand people at the same rate that, you know, the Noonans can. You know, I don't have to go spend 4 days door knocking to get in front of 1,000 people. I can do it here. As long as I'm engaging content, I can essentially level the playing field with some of the agents that have been doing this for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And so when Gary Keller announced the partnership with Facebook and outlined why our Facebook campaigns are going to be so powerful, I was one of the first people that started jumping in and playing around with it. And just so you guys know, before we dive into why it works or what we're doing, I want to explain why it works. So one, we partnered with Facebook and we have that fantastic algorithm so that when people click on our ad, and think about you as a consumer, when you go click on an ad or when you go click on a video, the first thing that it asks you for is your information. Information capture is the most important part of the ad. And that's where you lose people. Most people will drop off when they have to put in their email address or when they have to put in their phone number. Yeah? Well, with our Facebook partnership and the algorithm they have, when they click on your ad, they don't have to enter anything. All of the information populates into that contact form based on the information that they've used on their Facebook login. So the Facebook email address and phone number that is attached to their profile is automatically populated into the contact form. All they do is click continue. Okay, so that to me is massive. So with every Facebook lead, you're getting a phone number, an email address, first and last name. The next bits of information is up to you to get. Okay. Another reason that we've seen such spectacular returns on the social media front with these paid campaigns is because Facebook, like any other group, prioritizes finances. They look at money and they look at spend, and that's just natural. That's business. So essentially, if I create a campaign and I spend $30 and then Chad creates a campaign for $50 and then Morgan, you create one for $100, obviously, Morgan, you're going to get in front of more people, but Facebook also strategically puts you in front of more and more qualified people that are relative to your ad. It prioritizes your ad spend. Does that make sense? That's just kind of business 101. We prioritize the folks that spend most with us. Yeah, Morgan, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when we as Keller Williams agents go through command to create our paid campaigns, Facebook looks at the spend as coming from command.
As a whole.
As a whole. So command as the spending entity, we're talking about probably at this point tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars every week on these ad spend, which get us the priority, which get us the better placement as Keller Williams agents. Does that make sense? So anybody, and realistically, if you think about it, anybody that's now, you know, spending 3 times as much as us, I would say at minimum, we're probably on the same playing field in terms of placement. Okay, so that's huge. Ultimately, you want to try to dictate who you're getting in front of and create solid leads. So I need to be clear before we dive into what I want to show you. When you create a paid ad, what you're paying for is what they call impressions. Okay, impressions are the number of people that see the ad. That's it. That's all that you're paying for. Facebook doesn't promise you clicks. Facebook doesn't promise you leads. All you're actually paying for is how many people they're going to put your ad in front of on their screen. Okay. Now with that, the content of your ad is going to determine the number of clicks and the number of leads that you get. So for example, I ran an ad and we had, I think it was 24,000 impressions. I got in front of 24,000 people in 1 week. That's massive to me. And from that, I got 2 leads because the content in the ad it was for an event that we were doing that has since unfortunately been canceled. But it wasn't.
How much money did you spend to get in front of that many people? If you don't mind me asking.
$50, I think.
Oh, okay.
I'll pull up the stats on the ad here in just a second. But at 24,000 impressions, I mean, if you get a 0.5% of people that click on it, and then 0.1%, you're talking 24 leads if the ad is engaging enough. Okay, so we're talking massive numbers if the ad is engaging. That's what I want to talk about today. We're going to talk about why we structure the ads the way that we do and why we're putting forth these kind of ads. So you guys have been on Facebook. Chad, have you seen Facebook ads from realtors? You're on mute. Hold on.
Yeah, I think we all see them.
Can you tell me quickly, what's the most recent one that you remember? What do they look like?
I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook, so I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, to be honest.
All right. I hear you. I wouldn't use Facebook, to be honest. Between me and you, man, I wouldn't use it if it wasn't a business thing.
But I do see, I mean, it's usually pictures of houses. It's usually, just the product.
Perfect. Morgan, what about you? Do you see Facebook ads out there?
I do, but I don't really spend a lot of time looking at them. I look more at the videos posted myself.
Perfect.
And just myself to share and give information, helpful information at times.
Okay. Sonia,
but I have noticed when I do my videos that they want you to actually put a video that's like over 3 minutes long because that supposedly gets more viewers. And usually my videos are only like 2 minutes long.
Think about yourself as a consumer. If you're watching a video that's on a house that's 3 minutes long, how much of it are you going to watch?
It depends. Sometimes I get annoyed by people because I feel like they only talk about themselves and I just get out of the video. I can't watch it.
So yeah, that's a big thing is talking about yourself. Sonia, what about you? Do you see? Yeah. And honestly, that's a big point that I want to push. We are all consumers. If you can't stand it, 99% of consumers probably can't either. We think a little bit too much sometimes like a real estate professional. The last thing that you want to do is put an ad out there that's about you. That's not what people are buying. And I hate to say it, that it's just not. When they're clicking online, what we're looking to put in front of them is clickbait. Sonia, what about you? Do you see Facebook ads? Do you use Facebook enough to see a ton of the ads?
I use Facebook Yeah, a lot. And I don't see that. I don't think I see that many ads. I think I see a lot of ads for other things that I, like that I click on, and then I see 2,000 more of those ads about like animals and stuff.
Animals? So it's funny
Yeah.
you say that. I was talking to a colleague of mine, and we were talking about branding, and she decided on her cards to put pictures of her and her dogs. That's now her thing, because people are drawn to animals. So you guys hit on a couple topics. Morgan, videos. Absolutely. Video content is now becoming one of the most consumed types of content that you see online. So absolutely embrace videos. For me, if the first 15 to 20 seconds of the video aren't captivating, I'm not watching it. I'm not sticking around. So it kind of reminds me of an essay or a lit class that I took in college. They basically said if the first sentence isn't captivating enough, then readers are going to check out. So when I had to write an essay, don't judge me for this, I would work in a way to add a derogatory term to the first sentence.
Oh.
People are engaged. Like, what is this going to be about? And they continue reading. So kind of structure. If you're going to do a video, I'm not saying shit, or don't put anything derogatory in there, but make sure that the first few seconds are captivating enough to get people to continue to watch. Okay, so I'm going to go share my screen, and I'm going to go over a couple things. All right. So if you go here, guys, on the left-hand side where it says paid campaigns, right here, we're going to go to paid ads. And before I dive in, I want to show you the ad that we did for the class that I taught in February. So all I did was this here. I did a selling with social media ad. The tagline was generate $2 real estate leads using social media. And what I did with this was I boosted it, I think, for $30. And I specifically targeted real estate professionals. Okay, that's what's kind of cool about this, is I can dictate who my target audience is. So with this specific ad, I made it so that we're targeting Trulia, Zillow, preferred realtors, real estate professionals, agents, brokerages, etc. And the reason that I did that was to essentially prove that even though real estate agents and real estate professionals are kind of, we're trained to not take clickbait on stuff like this, for $30, I still captured 12 leads at $2.50 per lead. And they were all real estate professionals. So to me, that was cool. That was kind of the validation, like, hey, if you guys think, one, from a price point in San Diego, it's not going to work, well, I just got leads at $2.50 each. And two, I did it with an audience that's basically trained to not click on this stuff. So that was fun. So when we're in paid ad campaigns, what we're going to do is go up here to the top right and click Create a New Campaign. And we're going to make sure that you've got a couple options here. So you got social ad and Google ad, or search ad, which are both paid. I'm going to focus on social ads here. So you click on social ad. There are two areas or two goals, I should say, that you're going to want to focus on that we've seen by far the best returns. And it's a dramatic difference in terms of return on investment. Advertise listing and attract buyers are the two best ways to go. For me, I've seen more clicks and more leads from advertised listings. Okay, so I'm gonna get the campaign. We're gonna use Michael Sutton's new listing, 3889 Carancho. Cool. So there's the title. Now you have the option to run Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm seeing a pretty dramatic increase in results using just Facebook. I think my dollars go further. Instagram is fantastic. I think if you're looking to do more branding, if you are going to put out ads that are about you to more or less reinforce your brand and your status as the go-to economist in a specific area, Instagram is a good way to go. And you're not going to capture a ton of leads doing that. That really is just more for brand awareness. So for the sake of capturing leads, I'm just going to use Facebook. Is that okay?
Yep.
All right. So then we go to set up campaign. And then it's going to take us to the next screen. And essentially what we're going to do is look for the property address. Now this is updated through our IDX site with the San Diego MLS. So we're going to look at 3889 Carancho. So you have a couple options here. You can show only my listings. You can show only actives. For this, I'm going to go to all listings. And I'm going to search here. Perfect. Here's the listing that I want. So I'm going to go ahead and select this listing. And then once I select it, I've got the option here to go ahead and basically what it's going to do is it's going to pull the text from the listing that's in the MLS. Okay. What I want to do is crop this down. If you look here on the right-hand side, this is a preview of the ad. People aren't going to read this. You want to make this as easy to read as possible. And think about if we're going back to, essay form. If I've got paragraph after paragraph after paragraph, it looks intimidating, it looks daunting, I'm probably going to lose interest. Now, if we think about a better way to catch people's attention when we're putting out maybe a real estate flyer, instead of doing paragraph, 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 words, 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 for me, I use bullet points. Bullet points are easier to read. They're more segmented. They're, I think, more digestible. And so with this part, I'm going to do essentially the same thing. So we've got a gorgeous mid-century modern home on a tree-lined street, meticulously maintained, tastefully upgraded. Home is a must-see, real floors, solar tubes, skylights, exposed beams, etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that. Okay. Beautiful. Tree-lined street. Wood flooring. Let's do natural light. Lots of upgrades. Okay, cool beans. So now, don't judge me, but this is proven to work.
Emojis.
Emojis. People love emojis. I'm not joking. It's just a thing. I almost resent that we've got to do this, and yet I promise it works.
Mm-hmm.
What's a good emoji for wood? I don't know if they have one. Let's go sparkle. We're going to do that one. Natural light, we're going to put a sunshine. So when you, just so you guys know, when you click on the emoji thing here on the bottom right, you can search for the emoji that you want. I'm going to do sunshine. And then upgrades, we'll do, I don't know, stove if they have one. We're going to do
Bathtub.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I like that. Perfect. Cool. Sweet. And then what we'll do is click below for more info. And then I'm going to add that. Cool beans?
Yep.
Easier to read. Now, if you look at this new heading right here, that's basically what people are going to see. Super simple. It's going to catch their attention. They're going to see what you want them to see. And the idea behind this, like I said, guys, I know it's corny. I know that it's very, millennial, whatever. The idea, though, is to get people's interest and get them to see what you want them to see. All right. The headline here. So once again, if we're previewing the ad, the headline is probably the most important part because the first thing that people are going to look at is the photo. Second thing is the headline, which is this part. Then they're most likely going to go up here or here. Okay. So photo has to be is the most important part. Headline is number 2. Up here is next, and then here's last. So for the headline, it needs to be captivating. Okay, so what I'm going to do is 3-bedroom under 600,000. Upgraded 3-bedroom under 600,000 will be my headline. Cool. Whatever you put here, make sure that it's enough to get people's attention. If you've got a listing that is priced around $450 for 3 bedrooms, that's captivating. If you've got just like the most ridiculously upgraded coastal property with stunning ocean views, that's what you want to put. Whatever it is that you think is going to draw people's attention here, that's what you want your headline to be. Does that make sense? Now under description here, That is going right here, and it's pretty simple. All you really want to put is click learn more for pictures, videos, floor plans, more info, whatever. If you've got floor plans, 3D, whatever, put that in there. If you don't, just put pictures and more info. For this, I don't think there are videos, so we're just going to do this. Cool? Keep it simple. This part you don't want super detailed, but all you really want to do is click learn more for pictures and more info. If you've got a virtual tour, that's awesome. People are going to love that. There's your clickbait. Click learn more for virtual tour. All right? Everybody understand the text right now? Let's move on. So here, under add media, if you look here, you can configure the media and you can actually change the image. I'm gonna leave this image because I like it, but if you wanted to, you could go add more and it pulls all the pictures from the MLS. For the sake of time, I'm not gonna change it, but if you've got different pictures that you want, you can do it here. If you wanna add your own images, you can do it there. If you've got a video, you can upload that there, Morgan. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, but is this already after they've clicked more? Because I wouldn't want to share so many photos unless they're gonna click and look, right?
Yeah, so I'm gonna talk about that right now. All we're doing is designing the ad.
Okay, so this is just before they even click. This is like
Correct.
when they're scrolling through their feed and they see an ad. Okay,
Correct.
yeah.
This is
Probably
just
want to add many photos then.
Yep, this is just what the consumer is gonna see. Okay, so if you wanted to make it a video, you can do that and the consumer is going to see that. And then where we take them, I'm gonna get there in just a second. Cool.
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep this picture just for the sake of time. It makes it a little bit more sense. You can change the DBA logo that you can see in the bottom right to left or right. Okay, whatever. Ownership statement, you can check yes or no. It's not a big deal. Each office independently owned and operated. We always like to have it. I recommend putting it on there. So save ad media here. Make sure we apply that. And then from there, we're going to go into more details about the Facebook ad. Okay, so when we go configure, this is where things get fun. So your account, you have to make sure that you're linked. I'm going to go Keller Williams, we'll go Raymond Fraser La Jolla. We'll go this one. Cool. Just so we're clear, guys, if you've got a business page and it doesn't say real estate in it, change your business page. People want to see it. They did studies, and basically, if you're going to be associated with real estate, you need your business page to say real estate, realtor, homes, something along those lines that show the real estate designation. Okay. Essentially, from a consumer standpoint, they look at it as valid. They look at it as more, what's the word? Basically professional. They put more validity behind where this ad is coming from. Okay. So now that we've got our account picked, this part here is crucial, and I see a lot of people doing this wrong. You have two options for the destination, okay? You can use the Facebook lead gen form, or you can send them directly to the site, to a site or a landing page. You always want to use the lead gen form. This is essentially what takes them to the next contact page that is automatically filled in from Facebook. If you take them just to your landing page, you're expecting them to fill in the information themselves, okay? You're gonna get, I would say, not even 10% of the amount of contacts if you take them to your site or your landing page versus using the lead gen form. And don't get me wrong, a lot of people say, well, oh, these are gonna be more qualified leads. Yes, and if they're qualified, why wouldn't they fill in the lead gen form anyway? Beat them to it. Just have them fill, and they don't have to fill anything out. That's the beauty behind it. If it's a numbers game and we're talking about generating as many leads as we can, this is where we want to live, in the Facebook lead gen form. Okay?
Hey, Ray, I have a question.
Okay.
I might be ahead of the game, but at what point do you put in your DRE and BRE information? That needs to be on your ad, yeah?
No, not on the ad, because it's attached to your social media page.
Okay.
Okay? So, call to action button, you've got a couple options here. Learn more, sign up, apply now. Learn more, to me, is always the way to go. People are turned off and kind of scared by sign up and apply now. Learn more is a little less intrusive, a little less aggressive. So for me, I'm always adding learn more, okay? Now, Morgan, talking about what we discussed earlier, here's where we're sending them, the follow-up destination URL, okay? This is crucial. And here's what we want to do with this URL. I've seen a lot of people say that they want to create unique landing pages or unique website pages, and that's fine. And let me propose a little bit of a different option. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a separate window, and I'm going to go to my website. And then let me 3889 Toronto.
Gage, come here.
What I'm going to do is go to my website, and then I'm going to click on, and of course it's not active. Perfect. So this here is through my website, and it is the property link, okay? So it's essentially, if I were to go create a search and click on this specific house, this is the website that I'm on. It's got all the information about the house here. This is basically your web page. Now the beauty behind it is what I'm going to do is copy this URL, and I'm going to attach it to the ad so that when people click on the ad, they're getting sent to this site, okay? Now the reason that I want to send them there is because when they're sent to that site, they're on my website. So let's say it turns out they don't like this house, and they're scrolling down, they're like, ooh, you know what, I don't like that one, but I like this one here, and they want to learn more information about this house. They go ask agent, and look who pops up. Look at that face. Okay? All I want is for them to use this website. Down the road, when we start thinking about long-term implications, if we get their email address and we know that they're looking for homes in La Mesa, once this becomes, what do they call it? A BIN, a buyer instant notification site, where we can send them properties coming to market from our site. And even, I mean, even if we don't have that, let's say we know a new property came up to market in La Mesa, send them the link through your website. Ultimately, all we want is for them to use our site as their go-to search engine for homes. If we can do that, we don't have to worry about paying Zillow. We don't have to worry about paying Realtor. We don't have to worry about Redfin. And I like our websites. I think they're fantastic. But that's why I add the link to my site. Does that make sense? Cool. So once that's done, let me make sure I got that right. Oh. Cool. So I've got the destination URL as my website with the specific property. Now we're going to go down here. When we look at ad targeting, we're going to click on custom settings. Okay, we need to move this box over. So with this, guys, you can do a couple things. Let's say this property is in your farm and you like this area, and this is specifically where you want to be. Go ahead and put in that geographic area and tighten up the radius. You can go down to 15 miles and you can go up to, I think, 50, maybe higher. I'm not sure. But let's say with this one, La Mesa is not my area, and I want to open this up to 40 miles to get as many leads as we can from any area, and I'm comfortable grabbing leads from everywhere in San Diego. You can expand this, and basically what it's going to do is put this in front of as many people as you see fit in any geographic area, okay? If you look up here, guys, I do want to make sure that I draw your attention to a couple things. For me, when I recruit agents, I target my database because I have so many agents in my database already. This will specifically target people that are in your database, in command. So if you've got a ton of people from your farm there, you can click on this to specifically hit those folks. But for me, I'm going to create a custom audience, La Mesa, 40 miles out. Now the expert targeting here, I've gotten people looking at this different. Some people don't do expert targeting. I do. I like putting expert targeting on here because it to me increases the quality of the leads. So when you go add or change interest, what we're going to do is under interests, when we're targeting potential buyers, what are they going to be interested in? Chad, what do you got? What do you think?
I mean, everybody likes upgrades, new kitchens, views.
So I do want to make sure I'm pointing something out. These interests are loaded by Zillow. So some of these are not going to be available, but we type in kitchen. Let's go ahead and put that in there. So we're going to check that. Morgan, what about you? What do you think are going to be good tags for targeting our audience?
Big backyard.
Let's see if that's on there. Nothing for yard.
What about views?
Garage.
All right.
Yeah, view, that's a good one.
Sonia, what do you think?
I thought it's more about like what the people are searching, like they would put in Zillow and loans and homes.
Perfect. So that's basically what we want. We want to start thinking like our consumer. What we're doing with these targeted ads is we're targeting keywords that the consumers on Facebook are already searching. So Zillow. We're going to look up Realtor. Realtor.com. Realtor.com Pro is basically what I use to target real estate agents. Real estate. So we got real estate investing, real estate development, real estate economics, real estate entrepreneur. What else?
Maybe homes.
Yep, that's a good one. I think I already did realtor. Home appliances, home automation, home repair. Mortgage is a big one. Absolutely target people that are looking at mortgage loans, mortgage calculator, mortgage insurance. And then there's a ton of other stuff, guys. There's townhome, there's condo, there's single family home. Let's see. Maybe not. If you click on interest here, you can go and check all of these. There's a ton. Apartment guide, auto, bank account, banking, business, bungalow. Okay. I think usually I've got like 18 of these that I've got preloaded in my ads. But essentially what this does is it targets specific audience that are using these keywords already in their natural search. Okay. So for the sake of time, I'm going to exit out. But you can see here the expert targeting is automatically populated as we've picked them. So then we're going to save the Facebook ad here. Now when we go down to the last box, duration and budget, there's a couple things I need you to know. If you're creating an ad today, it won't go live until the following day because it does have to go through the approval process. So today's the 7th. The earliest I could run my ad is the 8th. Okay. I recommend the amount of days should be a minimum of 3 days. For me, 7 has kind of been my sweet spot. I like the 7-day ads. So I'm going to go ahead and do the 8th through the 15th. Okay. The important thing that you've got to look at though, your daily spend has to be at least $3. So if you look at daily per channel, if it's not at least $3, we're not seeing the same return. Basically, your dollars are just spread a little bit too thin at that point. So right here, make sure that your minimum is 3. Above that, killer. Less than that, you know, we're starting to deal with not as effective an ad. Okay. Does that make sense, guys?
Yep.
So once we've saved the duration and the budget, everything here checks out and looks good. This is the preview of our ad here that you can see. So here's the web feed. Here's what it's going to look like on mobile. You can change anything as you need here, but once you're done, you go to publish campaign and you're good to go. It's off and running. And then once you've got it up and running, actually, I'm going to go ahead and save this and I'll send it to Michael Sutton. Once you've got it up and running, you can go to your paid ads here and then you can click on it. If you click on where it says your name, it'll pull up a preview of the ad. And of course, it's not available yet because I just created it. But you can look at a preview of the ad and then you can click over here. You can archive it, you can duplicate it, you can edit it, and then essentially start looking at numbers. So you're going to want to make sure that you're tracking what the numbers are for your ad, what it resulted in. CPM is cost per mile. A mile is 1,000 impressions. CPC is cost per click. CPLC is cost per lead captured. Cool beans? Any questions, guys? That's basically it. Let's go ahead and bam. Ha. Questions about why we do things that way, why we use property listings, why we add the emojis, why we target the audience? We good?
I don't have any questions. I just want to try it.
Yeah, I recommend, you know, start with $30. $30 over 10 days. You know, see what happens. But I can't stress enough, stick to this structure. I have seen a ton of agents try to get creative and try to do things outside the box, and that's all well and good. Let me know what your results are, and if they're crap, I'm sure there's plenty of other people that have tried them. I subscribe to tons of forums where we're constantly playing around with different tweaks here and there. We're, you know, probably close to 500,000 ads run, if not way more at this point. There's been a ton of trial and error already. This is what's working. This is what we've seen is getting the $2, $2.50 leads, sometimes a lot less. But if you start to contrast that with Zillow at $4.50 per lead in La Jolla, you know, I think $200 per lead average in San Diego. Even if you look at a $5 per lead spend, if you can spend the next 3 months and add 250, 500 people in your database using just Facebook ads, that's building brand awareness, that's putting people in your database, that's getting people on your website, Morgan sharing your app, hopefully. It's really just doing what we need to do as agents to you know, fortify our build our moat, you know, solidify our fortress, and continue to get in front of people. In 5 minutes, I just built an ad that realistically, with that spend, would probably get me in front of about 10,000 people. Okay. Any questions, guys?
Why did you not select your database when you clicked on the like specifications? You clicked on
Yep. Targeted audience.
Yeah, because your database is already friends with you on Facebook pretty much, so they'll see it anyway, or?
So yeah, I love that question. Thank you so much. For me, I run 2 types of ads. The ones that I run where I target an audience, that's for new leads. Those are new lead captures that I'm trying to go out and get. If I'm targeting my database, I've already got them as a lead in my database. That's where I'm doing more of that brand reinforcement. That's where I'm not necessarily, you know, putting an ad out there to generate a new lead. I'm doing it as a touch system to get in front of my people. So with those ads, that's where I'm posting more of the interest rates are low, you know, find out what you qualify for, home valuation type stuff. But in terms of generating new leads, I'm not targeting my database, and I'm running a very specific property ad.
Do you find that if you run an ad towards your database, you use the same structure, like the 7-day sweet spot, the $3 a lead? Okay.
Yeah, I don't deviate from that at all. $3 minimum per day spend. 7 days is typically my go-to, and it depends on the type of ad. We ran one for 30 days that was just a, you know, a team ad, and it's really just a way to make sure that the brand is getting out there consistently. But for more targeted stuff regarding interest rates, regarding you know, virtual showings and things like that, if I'm hitting my database, it's 7 days. That was one other thing that I wanted to hit on that. And then the channel with those targeted ads where I'm targeting my database, I'll do those on Instagram as well.
Mm-hmm. And then when you link the URL, this might sound stupid, how do you have that set up? Or when you have a listing in Command, it automatically is set up on that URL site?
No, I have to go grab the URL site. So what I do is I open up my website that we have through Command, that's available through Command. Right. So here, okay, so this is my website, and then I type in the property address right here. What was the property address? Carancho? There it goes. Cool. So you just type in the property address, and then it takes you to, I thought I was sharing my screen. I'm dumb. Hold on. All right, let me do that one more time. All right, so now that we're back on my screen, what I do is I go to my specific web page, and then I type in the property address.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Okay. So it's essentially like I'm a consumer and I went in and I created a search for this house.
Got it.
Okay, so then once I'm there, I'm just gonna, and essentially it's gonna take me to this house. And so when we advertised in the Facebook ad, you know, click here for more pictures and information, that's what I'm taking them to. I'm taking them to more pictures, I'm taking them to info. And then the best part about it is, let's say they don't like the house and they wanna create a new search, they can do that right here on the left-hand side. Let's say they wanna just look in 92109. They can now search from my website, and ideally they're getting used to my website, they're liking my website, and any property they click on, let's say it's 4890 Academy Street, once they click on that property, they can look at more info if they want, or they can look at pictures, get more info. If they want to do anything with me, it goes ask your agent, And that form is going directly to me. So the impact and the power behind that, if we all put a ton of energy into getting people on our website, getting people to use our app, we become that economist of choice. We become the go-to one-stop shop for real estate. It really is just reinforcing it, though. You really have to, and honestly, you got to stand behind the product. If you think the product stinks, don't push it. Me, I love the sites. I love the app. I stand by it. I get the implications of having these kind of tools, and they're free. Really, all we have to do is be real estate professionals and put these resources in front of our clients.
So one last question. When you are advertising a new listing or advertising a listing, how often should you run an ad for that? Every week?
Yeah, so what I recommend is if you're an agent, I recommend running an ad every week. Every day you should have an ad. So here's what people like to see, and think like a consumer as well. They like to see just listeds. They like to see coming soons. They like to see price reductions. People always want a deal. Okay, we're always thinking about clickbait. Another couple ones that we've used, if you're running weekly and you don't have a new listing, and this is kind of moot now, open house lists. You know, here's a list of open houses that are going to be in your area this weekend. Things like that. Really, when you're putting content out there, all you're trying to do, and this term is, you know, gets kind of a negative rap, but this is the business that we're in. We just want clickbait in front of people. We just want something captivating and engaging enough to get them interested to click. That's it. Once they click on the ad and they click continue, we've got them, and the rest is on us to provide value on top of the ad. But ultimately, what we want is information. We just want their phone number, email address, and then from there, we're competing against ourselves. We're not competing against Zillow and Realtor anymore. We're making sure that we are doing what we have to do as real estate professionals to provide the service that they should expect, put the resources and tools in front of them that they should already have, and make sure that we're the go-to real estate source. Cool? Any questions, guys? Chad, good? Morgan? Sonia? Holden, I miss you. All right, guys, if nothing else, thank you so much for joining. We have our team meeting tomorrow. We're going to be doing our quarterly awards. I'm pumped. Love to see you guys all there. Morgan and Sonia, I know you guys are still diving into Command. I definitely recommend getting in touch with Andrew, but if you've got any questions specifically about the ads, let me know. We're going to put together, I'm going to do a video about smart plans here really shortly, and how to create customized smart plans to get in front of your database as well. So when we've got a date for that, I'll make sure you guys know.
Great.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.